Something that buyers do not consider most often until after the fact, after they're already under contract and maybe a week or two out from closing on the new property, is how much home insurance is going to cost. And, there are estimates that you could do, that your lender can do, and you can get online for that property, on, what basic home insurance costs. But really here, especially in Colorado, we have a lot of areas. If you are in a highly, dense area with a lot of trees and wildlife, then you're probably in a high fire risk area. Or, we have certain neighborhoods that we consider to be hailstorm alley, where, almost every year they get hit by hailstorms. And so that's another high risk area for insurance. And so if you are in one of these areas, then it's kind of common for home insurance, property insurance, to be more expensive. And I've seen it as high as $9,000 or $10,000 a year. And when you're considering, making a mortgage payment and you've identified a house that you like, you're going off of some very general ideas in terms of what you can afford based on, the interest rate on your loan and general property taxes. But what you don't consider, most buyers aren't considering this until maybe a week or two out of closing, is what that property insurance is like and what that's going to mean for their monthly payment. And a lot of times, they might estimate somewhere around $200 to $250 a month. And if you're paying, if you end up paying $10,000 a year, then you're doubling that, just about, not quite, but almost doubling that payment a month in your escrow payment. And so if you haven't considered that, something to do that you can do, and I've just done it for a buyer just this weekend, is you can call insurance companies and get quotes before you even put an offer on. And while, they can give you a very general quote based on that property, the location, and the risk factors, obviously depending on what kind of riders and what kind of coverage you get, the more coverage, if you add on additional things like that, then it obviously will, fluctuate that price. But this is something that it literally can take you 15 minutes to do, and it can save you hundreds of dollars in the long run, and a lot of, just frustration. So if you're shopping around and you're not sure, what that property is going to look like insurance wise, then please, 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 please call your insurance provider